to know? Hello, chat. Welcome. Welcome back to the greatest game ever. Hello. Hi, chat. You liking the music? I'm loving the music. So, chat. We're of course. What's it called? We are of course. What's it called? We are of course are playing. Everyone's favorite game, Stellar Blade. I'm in fact. I want to make sure that I can. Hold on. Alright, chat, hold on. Alright, chat, I'm willing to show my face. Hold on. So I just wanted to, I needed to go through and look at something. So, because I've been, I don't want to say too much of what I'm doing. Let's just say maybe there's a... What? I'm not doing that. That'd be a little weird. That's a little weird. But anyways, chat, we of course are continuing from where we left off last weekend. I mean, last night. This was again. Oh, fuck off. No, please. No, please don't tell me I did this wrong. Oh my god, this is actually embarrassing. Chat, I'm chat, when I tell you, please don't do this to me. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. I had a great weekend, guys. I actually spent time with family, but that's not what matters. What matters is that we're back. And of course, we're enjoying my music, yes, because everyone else can listen to their stuff. If you guys want to listen to Kendrick's and actually, chat. I was asked earlier if I listened to rap, and I told them I listened to 5 rappers. You guys ready to hear my rappers? I love rap. I love Himori. I love Inihune Nichi. I love M-Flow, and I really like Boa. Really great artists, all great, really great rappers. Where the hell is this thing? Please, because if it doesn't close correctly, it will crash my computer. It will crash my computer. Thank you. I think, yes. Okay, there we go, thank you. I was just like, yeah, no. And then that will, in fact, yep, okay. So with that out of the way, now we can go ahead and get ready for the thing. Hey, chat. How do I look? Do you guys like the outfit? Hold on, chat, look. Don't I look like Toji? Don't I look tough? Is this tough in Jujutsu Kaisen? Is this tough? Imanamu ala sunde you. Imanamu ala sunde you. Koyoyato no gure. Yoto no rigate. Imanamu ala sunde you. Imanamu ala sunde you. Imanama. Sorry, chat. All right, anyways, chat, we are playing the greatest game ever created by human hands. We're playing Stellar Blade, chat. We're playing Stellar Blade. Like, what do you think it was going to be? Like, you thought it was going to be something different? Like I don't know. Something like, I don't know, chat. Like, what did you guys think? Whatever you thought wasn't happening. Oh, crap. I did it wrong. Oh, I'm gonna have to get rid of it. Damn it. Oh no. But last time we were in fact in a very I would say in a weird place. Hold on. He actually bought the game? Are you serious? Why did he do that? Why did he buy? Okay. But yes, last time we were playing, while we were playing, we were in fact inside containment. I think we're about to hit a boss, and I'm very much so. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's it called? Let me. Oh, I forgot to add everyone telling me I was live. All right, hold on, chat. What's up, man? Oh my gosh, is that Spunk? Hey, Spunk. First, welcome to the stream, guys. How does my hair look? Do I look tough? Is this tough in Atlanta, guys? Do I look cool? Oh my god. I don't know what it is. Recently, I've been cleaning my hair like almost every day, and it looks worse and worse. You just woke up? Oh, well, welcome, guys. All right, now, of course, chat, it's time. You guys know what time it is. Huh? What? Why is it not working, huh? Um, um, why is it not working? What? Why is it not working? Don't do this to me, please, Stellar Blade. Please. Please, I just want to play you. But hello, Spunk. How are you doing, sir? I fell asleep by accident, and my God, was it heavenly? That's good. See, it is, and you know why you woke up? It's because I was here to wake you up, sir. Welcome to the Hint Trap stream. Welcome. Today, guys, we're of course playing Stellar Blade. I'm excited, chat. Every I get to wake up and play my favorite game ever. When I tell you, that makes me so happy. I mean, I'm gonna get really sad when this game's over. I think I will say this playing what's it called? Playing playing Stellar Blade has really reignited my interest in just playing um just on stream again. Like I really did miss doing that. I just felt as if, there's like no purpose in doing that. But as of right now, I'm really glad. And on top of that, I'm just really happy that I can really play my favorite game. Now, I will say I can't see any chat right now. Hold on. How you doing, man? Me? I've been editing most of the day. Oh, actually, did I upload it? Let's see if I uploaded a short, guys. Guys, you guys ready? Let's see if I uploaded a short, guys. Because guess what? Consistency beats all things. All right. Don't let your memes become memes. Don't let your dreams become memes. And who the hell? Oh, oh, okay. Chat. Don't let your 26 is diabolical, but I understand why. Yeah, chat. Honestly, recently I started a new one. I've been making new TikTok videos. I know no one can see that because this nasty fucking camera just sucks like ass. But I've been I've been wanting to do something different and wanted to really take it seriously. And I just realized my fucking thing just fell on me, and I'm so sad that I did. Uh, um, what's it called? Um, but I'm ready to play. Honestly, it's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying. But now we're here playing the greatest game ever. Now, if I remember correctly, we're going to get into a boss fight, chat. We're about to hit a boss fight. So, if you haven't already, strap in, boys and girls. Wait, no, the music. No, we need to hear the music. We need to hear it in Korean because 감사합니다. 안녕하세요. 사랑해. I don't know why my notes did that. All right, anyways. Ooh. Oh, baby. Oh my God. The game looks just beautiful. Hold on. Gotta do one thing. To make sure that I don't have any issues. No lag, no issues, nothing. I don't know why is that showing up. Okay, thank you. No lag, no issues, nothing. Quit. Quit. Quit for right now. And, yeah, that's all. Alright, now we're back to it. Alright, now, let's go on ahead and get back to the guess my favorite game ever. I'm really loving this game, chat. I don't think anyone... Oh, I could... Oh, really? There's a beta chain? Oh, crap. I didn't know that. It's XXX and hold X. Then it's XXX hold Y. Then there's an XYY. And then... Oh, that's what that is? Okay. Spoilers. Oh, no. Well, no. Spunk, you might as well just come on in and just watch it with me. All right. XYXY hold. Oh, I did not know there was beta chain and combos for this. Did I just, like, unlock an entire, like... Oh, my... Did I really just unlock an entire new thing? How did Wilds go? I will say I can potentially see myself playing it. It seems as if it will not cook my PC. But it did give me this warning, which I thought was weird, that it says that if you're make sure to use it via SSD, because if not, then it will lag. And I thought that was weird, because I was just like, I have to have it on SSD, because I have it on my external hard drive, but it says SSD. If you don't put it on your SSD, you're gonna have issues. Sure, man. Okay. All right, hello, E. Hold on. It wasn't like... Oh. Okay, that's one. Oh, can I do... Oh! I think you'd like the story? Well, you know, it's not like I'm playing, what's it called? I'm never going to play a Monster Hunter game for the story, of course. I mean, wow. Actually, what? Oh my gosh, dude. The American way of just doing things. I'm so glad I have it. It's so bad. Alright, now I'm curious. So it said I could do things differently here. What? There's an entire unique combination for that? What? What do you mean there's shotgun? That's really crazy for what I've heard. What I've heard when we play and play my experience. This does a lot. What a lot of others don't is very linear. Oh, I forgot. Do you? I forget. Do you hate SAO? Me? I don't hate SAO. I think it's a. I mean, it's age. Like, huh? What? What is this game? Oh my god. There's so many different types of weapon types. Like, what? And I thought it was supposed to be this is disgusting. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's gross. And then I can use the blaster one. And then I can get the third. Jesus. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know, now I just want to... Okay, hold on. Now I'm curious, can I... If I do all the combo, 1, 2, 3... Oh, I can! 1, 2, 3... And then if I do 1, 2... Oh... Okay, then I do 1, 2... Oh, wow. Okay. So this is an X. Alright, it's basically the same thing for the time. And it had an... For the time and the place it had an anime, it was really good. Outside of it, it looks, it's just mediocre. Yeah. Okay. Which makes sense. I mean, I'm not here to like get attached to characters. I'm here to kill monsters. That's my job. Oh my goodness, man, those beta combos. Oh really? It's just okay. I didn't know I could fix that. I actually like these. This regular ammo is pretty good. Okay. It's the same story for the wild store. Oh wow. Oh whoa, what? X X X Y. Hold on, I don't think I did that. X X X Y Y. Oh okay. I didn't know how I could do that any other way, but all right, now we're going to go ahead and we're just gonna play. Recharges more beta skills. Strengthen to the last blow of some combo attacks deals. Oh, so that's what I did. I unlocked a beta chain. Oh. All right, chat. Are you ready? Since last week, we've been waiting. I left you all on a cliffhanger. I'm ready. Oh yeah, I don't have a weapon. I only have. All right, let's begin. Jesus. Okay, is this the room? What the hell? Huh? Oh hell no. We're not doing this, right? What are we doing? No! Oh my god, no. No, are you serious? What? What are we doing? Come on, no, please. Chat, I'm sorry. For a second, I did not know what was happening. I was like, okay, wait. I'm confused. Where do I go? It's quite dark in this area. Not a huge campaign. Woo! Wait. Oh, that's a one-hit kill. Oh. Okay. Sad. Well, at least I look good while being stuck, man. Oh my days. Oh my days. Chat, what the hell do I do? Oh no, I know what I'm gonna do. I just gotta lock in. Like I've been watching this Will Smith meme just going around. When I have my foot, my fire is ready at the end. Come on, man. Next. I'm gonna be honest, chat. I might make it celebrate the final Findal. The final game for like a Let's Play campaign. Oh wow, I did not even notice that England was over there. Has it been closer? I didn't realize that. I think it is. Oh, what the hell? What I need you to get back. Oh, it is getting closer. I'm over here just like, oh, well, it's not going to get closer, right? No, I need you back. I need you back. You're glad I'm okay? And I would move? Adam, I don't trust him, man. Okay. See, I don't know why I don't know why I reacted like that. Sorry. Okay. Well, then, you know, let me go grab everything else. The hell's under me? The fuck am I hearing? I was about to say, the hell am I hearing? I'm a bit trigger happy when it comes to things, so. Oh, no, 'cause I just go up. Why? Okay, you know, I don't know why it took me so long to understand that, chat. I'm so sorry. I don't know why that took me so long to, like, get. Okay, I guess for. Okay. Oh. God, I love this thing. Can we, like. Yeah, I just need, like, a second. This is a good point to save, yeah. Alright. Yep, and I'll take my ammo. Thank you, my slugs. Oh my goodness. Alright, now we can continue. Alright, this one. What the fuck is that thing? Oh my god. Oh hell no. I feel like I'm playing Resident Evil all of a sudden. I don't know if I'm supposed to feel this way, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna like playing Resident Evil. Good graciousness. Yeah, buddy, you gotta get out of here. Yeah. We don't want the clinkers over here. Ooh, okay. The hell? Oh, okay. I don't know if I really want to do that right now, Adam. Gotta be honest. I feel like I'm playing Resident Evil 3. See anything worthwhile, sir? Atlas Lover Airgate Vent. Okay. Oh yeah, I can't do that, can I? I can't scan. Yes, I'm going to try entering the code, Adam. That's the entire reason why I brought it. I feel like Adam thinks I just don't play games sometimes, and I'm just like, that's just not true, Adam. Like I've played these games before. Ooh, okay, it works. Thank goodness. I like this area's music though. This sounds good. The hell do I go down here? I don't know what the yellow's for, but okay. I guess I'm going. Oh. What? Oh my god. Dude, we thought all these fucking air. Oh my gosh. Dude, what? Please get off. Oh, great. Oh my god. Can I please get something? Hello? Bro, what are we doing? Oh my gosh. Jesus. I was about to say, like, the hell? Come on, let's get out of here. Buddy, you're not even here, okay? I hate when characters do this. They're like, oh, let's get out of here. You're not even here. Like, this is like a team co-op. Buddy, you can't even, you're just sitting right there in the front of your little area in your house. Ooh, okay. That's what we like to see. Alright, okay, you know what? Honestly, I'm kind of a bit disappointed. I really thought that I was going to deal with, like, a boss now. I thought there was a boss next place, but I guess not. Oh well. Oh well, we're just gonna find these dead humans. These dead humans. Alright, yes, get my ammo together, and now we can continue. Get out. Get out. Anybody else? Hopefully not, because I just don't have time for this. Alright. Wee. Okay. I grab this. Honestly, chat, I think this is. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me walk in. What the? Oh. This is different. I'm too slow with it. Oh my gosh, chat. It's my old age getting to me, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Fuck. 12. Fuck. Damn it. Okay, I had it. I gotta lock it. 1. Mother of God. I just can't get it down. Okay, that was kind of easy. I don't know why I did that the last time. I don't need it to be easy. I'm trying to get it done quickly so we can move on and do other things. Good God. Oh, oh.
레퓨지 캠프가 여기도 있다니. 어쨌건 한숨 돌리자고.
What type of camp is this? Oh no, this is boss. This is boss. What? Yeah, no, this is a boss fight, all right. Oh, I didn't realize how. Oh, I should have done things a little differently then. Huh? That's a scanner upgrade. Duration of. Okay, well, I could do that, but I also don't mind having a stinger. So now I can't I can't upgrade anything else. Okay, well that's fine. I'm not too worried about it. All right, let's. I want to hear from the girly girl. What's going on? Talk to me, Eve. The nativites here, they all. Oh, wow.
확실히 지상의 네이티브와는 달라.
They are.
리스트에 없던 네이티브도 많고. 대체 어떤 비밀을 숨긴 거니, 엘더?
I'm glad that she's waking up and understanding that, because he is. Like, why are they human? And then guess what's gonna be revealed? Buddy's like, ah, yes, I'm the reason why they all look bad. Are you serious? Oh, that's not bad. I was gonna say, because I don't want to lose out on. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, chat. Now it's time. It is time. It is time. Oh my goodness. I'm really liking this dress. I'm gonna be honest. Chat, I'm a man of simple What? What? The hell is this thing? Oh my god. The heart of the infection. Oh! Oh. I can still dodge, so it's fine. Okay. Let me just kind of just. You don't wanna. No? Oh, so I have to level that up to get it to like. You know what? I got it. I got it now. Okay, can I change it, please? Thank you. Thank goodness, game, because that would have been. I would have died there. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna be honest. I thought. Cat, I'm so sorry about my commentary. This is ass. What the fuck? You don't wanna like, kind of drop some stuff. I was on the floor. Oh. I just want to thank you for having to do that, my fellow people. Now, why? Okay, I gotta remember. It's the bottom. He just like, oh, this is like convulsive for no reason. Okay. Was that the boss? That was bit anticlimactic if so. Okay. I'm not mad at it. I mean, if you don't, hey, sure. Is that it? Really, there's nothing else here. Not a single thing's here. No? Really, there's something over there, but okay. No? Bit strange, a bit weird, but okay. I'm not. Oh. Yay, a chest. That's not a chest. I thought that was a chest. Okay. I guess we really are done with this place. Alright. Retrieve the hypercell from Atlas Lavaria. Okay. Another 2 down, 3 more to go. Thank you. Yeah, right. Look at this guy saying, "Oh, I'll wait for you." Yeah. A legacy here?
그게 뭔데?
Yeah, what is that?
앞서 지상에 내려온 강화 부대가 남긴 기록용 장치야.
By the airborne squad
후속
before
부대를
me?
위해 주요 정보를 남겨놓는
For the
거지.
next airborne squad? Okay.
그런데 어째서 강화 부대가
To
여기까지 왔을까?
fight them? I don't like this guy.
알파나 엘더에 관한 단서가 있었던 게 아닐까요?
That could be the case.
레거시를 확인해 볼게.
Thank you, Eve. At least someone has their fucking head straight. Adam's just too trusting, and Lily just was stuck in there for 2 years. Who is this?
2차 다이브 이후 8일차
Raven?
세 번째 기록. 레거시 어카운트 레이븐. 생존자는 리플리와 아니스.
Ripley and Annis.
아니스의 상태는 좋지 않다. 아마도 DT
Oh my
진행
gosh,
가능성이
Raven, no.
높다. 강화 지점에서 4.47km 떨어진 지점에서 이 연구소를 발견했다. 이 연구소는 네이티브를 연구하던 시설 같지만 침식이 심해 정확한 정보는 알기 어렵다.
Okay.
그런데 이곳의 데이터를 살피다가 놀라운 사실을 발견했다. 우리가 알고 있는 최후의 전쟁 이전에
There was
또 다른
another
전쟁이
war?
있었다.
What?
바로 인류가 만든 안드로이드
The Android Edos?
안드로 에이도스 간의 전쟁이었다.
Okay.
이 전쟁에서 인류는 패배하고 말았다.
What?
살아남은 소수의 인류는 지하 시설 등으로 숨어들었지만 사냥은 끝나지
So I'm guessing
않았다.
they created an
인류의
maybe
멸망도
to
코앞이라
these?
생각되던 찰나 변수가 나타났다. 근원을 알 수 없는 곳에서 이른바 우리가 네이티브라고 부르는 괴 생명체가
Oh, so oh wow.
적인 네이티브와의 전쟁으로 안드로이드들은 파국을 맞이했고
What?
아마도 그 사이 인류는 콜로니로 도망칠 수 있었던 것으로 보인다.
So humanity
이제는
fucked themselves over.
네이티브의 기원을 조사해보려 한다. 그 출발선에 엘더 네이티브가 있을 테니까. 이 영상을 보고 있을 당신에게 마더 스피어의 축복이 있기를.
Don't leave us, Raven. No. What? So I'm guessing humanity just fucked themselves over like they always do. That's crazy.
이런 기록이 남아있을 줄이야.
그런데 최후의 전쟁 전에 또 한 번의 대규모 전쟁이
You know,
있었는데
it's just crazy to think about now.
콜로니에선 듣지 못한 이야기들이네요.
Because they probably kept it under wraps.
아담은 어떻게 생각해?
What? Adam doesn't know shit.
전쟁으로 쓰여졌지. 최후의 전쟁
Look
이전에
at
몇
this
번의 전쟁이
motherfucker.
있었다고
I
해도
don't like this guy,
이상할 건
man.
없어.
I don't like this guy.
그렇다고 해도 전혀 전승되지 않았다는 건 이상해.
Because guess what they don't want to know?
레거시를 회수해 돌아갈게.
Yes.
잠시만 기다려. 테트라포드로 데리러 갈 테니까.
그래, 기다리고 있을게.
Adam. Yes. What do you think, Adam? Oh, well, this is just normal human behavior. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off, man. I don't like Adam. Oh, so we're back. Okay. Oh, they're here. Raven. Oh, hold on. Kaya and now Raven was a member of the 2nd Airborne. She left in. Oh, she was the second. She was second, and then Taki's third. Damn, we've lost so many good people. What's happening, man? This is so sad. Chat, we need to rip. I actually prefer. I'm actually liking the stingers right now. But I might go look for those butterflies. Actually, before we leave. Could I not? It says I can use a phone in order to like need to move. Could I do that? This camera. So could I really not like? If not, then that's gonna be a little depressing because I thought I could move around. Are you serious? Oh. Well, hold on. There is a supply camp over there. I can probably run my way over there. Hold on. Let's just try one in for a second. And now we're back into the big world. Actually, I actively do like this place. This place is... Oh, yes! I can upgrade my weapon now! Let's go. Weapon core. Yes, that's what we needed. Yes. Razor high. Yes. Oh my goodness. Wow. I think this might be my favorite. Oh, no, the Crimson is... I actively like the Crimson one. Oh, you want me to... I can favorite them? I know it's getting favorited, alright. Yes. Actually, I don't mind it. Oh yeah, I like this one. Yeah. Thank you, Stellar Blade. Alright. Now that we're over here. Oh, actually, I do like this outfit. Wait, but actually, it's very nice. Hold on. Compliments her quite well. Eve quite well. Man, I can upgrade another one. Okay, that's 150. Increase crit rate by like. Okay. And everyone else, I don't think increase the capacity of ammo. Damn. I want to know how I get these extreme polar materials. We can find more. But I also need to figure out how to get these gear slots, and then these and the tumbler enhancements. I think I should start doing these missions. Like, maybe, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go walk around for a second. We're gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna start from right here, and then we're gonna go up, because there could be something over there and we would never know. And now we're back. Hello. Oh my goodness. I actually do like this outfit. Goodness, these leggings. They're giving. Who's near us? Is there really any? Is there any? I don't think there's anybody near us. Oh, look at that lag. Oh. Don't piss me off. I was gonna say, don't piss me off. Okay. Ooh. Damage! Jesus! Okay, so where we gotta go? We gotta go up then left. Ooh, whoa! What? Well, we're doing it right away. What the hell? Did I not dodge? There you go. Good job, thank you. Oh, I have 3 skill points. Oh, I could go and well, hold on. I could level up something, chat. Hold on. I could level up something. Hold on, chat. There's something I could go level up. If I go do that, I would do it right now. Hold on. There's something over there, chat. Watch. Or actually, you know what? Who even cares? Because guess what? I need this one bad. All right, look. All right. Bing. All right. Ooh. Beautiful. Another camp. Yes. That's what we need. The exospines. I could level up another one. I could do this. It's fine. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna use. I'm probably gonna keep using the chain explosive one because of how strong it is. And on top of that, oh, I could use my skill point. You know what? I will. Before we go to the next place, I want to at least like explore the entire area for this place. All right, recharges more beta energy. I could get beta just completely done. I could, but I don't know. That would restores after hitting shockwave. I don't know if that's such a good idea. Hold on. Making it easy. Yeah, you know, I'll do this. Hold on. Now we're done with beta. Now we can move on to this one over here. Keep it moving. Okay, you know, let's just keep. Where's the Gooner anime girl? This is Stellar. Show me the baddies I was promised. What? There's a guy over here? There's a guy. What? It's a guy who needs help.
누가 가마스쿼드 채널로 통신을 보내는 거야?
You said you're looking for the girls. The girls are in front of you, Leah.
그냥 얻어 걸린 모양이네. 여러 주파수의 마구잡이로 신호를 뿌리고 있어. 그건 그렇고 저건
Oh, I just realized what this thing is. Oh, hell no.
쪽에 있는 쓰레기장이
Oh, no. What are you doing over here?
나쁘진 않겠어. 도움의 용의가 있다.
Okay. You know, alright then. We're not doing too bad. Okay. Look here, we got the girls right here. Look here. Eve's right here. Kicking ass, taking names. Doing all she can do. In this absolute designated world. This game is so much fun. Oh my gosh. I don't think I'll ever shut up about that. Whoa, whoa. Why does it have me doing? Come on. Oh my god, I'm not a stinger anymore. I have to go replace that. I'm not gonna lie. I have to. Oh, but Leah, hopefully you're doing, yeah. Hopefully, Leah, you're having a great day. And hopefully your weekend was great. I moved to the left. Thank you. Yeah, not. I'm not gonna get everyone's issue for being alive. Thank you. Thank you. I was about to make it made it everyone's issue that we're all alive now. We can all go together. Darn. Damn, man. Are you serious? You know what? I'm pretty well, Leah. I mean, honestly, no, this is not the way I would need it to. Doing really well, you know. I was learning a lot of course, learning a lot over the weekend, you know. Of course, learning a lot over the weekend, you know, just having a lot of, you know, fun, you know, just overall just learning new things, as always, in the realm of all things, you know. There cannot be someone else here. No, we're not. We're not doing this. No way. Dude, I am getting my back blown out. Oh my god. I am doing pretty well though, Leah. Honestly, just you know, wanting to see where I want to go from here especially after Stellar Blade, because I think we're close. I'm close to beating the game. I don't know yet, but after that, I don't know what I want to do after. I really don't. I might try something different. Might start doing more IRL. I don't know yet. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun playing the game, but I also know what will work and what won't work. Yeah. Yep. Now you got it. Yep. Yep. Now you got it. Next one, you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what we need. Damn. Friggin' animal. Jesus. Can I? They don't have anything. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Well, I'm glad that, you know, Leah. Oh yeah, isn't college starting for everybody? School starts like what? In like a week? W college students. ATL graduates, guys. Ready to see you guys all graduate. You guys will probably all graduate before I begin. Maybe that's a good thing. Yeah, I was gonna say, can I not go up here? Seems like there's something. Oh, we got a friggin' anything over here? Anything over here? No, I'm just having fun with like doing the TikTok-y. Alright, there's nothing over there. Okay, whatever. Let's just move back over here then. Gotta figure it out. Oh my goodness. You don't see me, right? Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? Actually, I do actively like that combo. Oh my gosh. You know what time it is, chat. We gotta blow him up. There we go. From that far. Alright, what could possibly be over here from that distress signal? Oh. Oh, my favorite phone. Moshi Moshi. They put activated. Oh, we're up there. Okay. Oh, and there is someone over there. Urgent info, and then there's a guy up there. Alright, cool. Moshi Moshi. Thank you for unlocking that waypoint, me. You're welcome, me. I'm grateful that you did that. Isn't that such a great thing? Yes, of course. That fucker just hit me. You're welcome, Sean. Isn't this a such a fun game? Yeah, interrupt. We love this game. See, one day I won't even have to do that anymore. One day it'll just naturally happen. I just gotta open that place. What the fuck? Oh! Whoa! Oh! Oh! No. Oh, hell no. Oh. Absolutely getting blasted over here. Do I have one? I probably have like one left. Oh my, okay. Ooh, thank you. Thank you for shooting at me, sir. Okay, you gotta stop. Yeah. It's actually starting to get difficult killing these enemies now. A microcolog. I don't know how to say that. Man. Honestly, it's been a really good Monday, chat. Honestly, I've been editing. I don't know how much you guys miss my editing streams. But that was a joke. And meme. I don't even miss those streams. But it's okay. Ooh, there we go, perfect. There we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, I almost shot at him. I'm doing things you couldn't do in a heartbeat. Damn clicker. Damn clank. Alright. Now I gotta get up there. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh my gosh. So I'm just getting one-shotted now? This is crazy. For what purpose? So if I were to shoot at them, can I not do anything at all? Maybe I couldn't. Hold on, let's try. Let's get back over there, channel. Let's see. Let's investigate what's going on in our favorite video game and Hentrap's greatest favorite video game of all time, the Stellar Blade. Chat, I cannot wait to let this game go. Oh, come on. Oh, okay, come on. What? Why are you running away? You came after me. You don't get to run away. The hell? You don't get to run away. What are you doing? I don't know why she thought that she could just do that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay, so there's something up there that I need to go grab, I guess. Because it would not... Do I have... Nothing. Not a damn thing in the chamber. Okay. That's fine. That's okay. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really liking this racer outfit. The thigh highs and everything, chat. Amazing. Oh, I love how there's like a little sound that it plays, like if there's anything going on. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, get up. Go again. Run. Ooh, that was beautiful. Oh, okay. Can I turn that off? Probably not. Okay. Wait, drop. Anything over here? No power. So I have to run. Okay. I guess it's like a challenge thing. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. The world may not know. But what I do know is that I'm gonna click on this bastard and we're gonna do it all over again. You know what, chat? Is there anything you guys want to see? I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's like some other content you guys really want to see at all. And I know I'm playing Still and Blade right now, but you know, suggestions are not a bad thing. Okay. Oh, there goes. All right. Work. Oh, is it working now? Oh. Okay, it seems like it's starting to work now or something. I don't know. Oh, they got it working. Or not. Is it because they're still... Okay, so maybe I need to move them somewhere? That could be the case. Or maybe they need to all go to one place? Okay. We will see. Interesting. Oh, because there is something back here. Ooh, it's a big chest. It's a big chest, a big chest, a big chest, a big chest. Okay. Could I, like... Okay, thank you. A guard turret. That's what it's called. Okay. Now that I know that. Now that I actually, like... Move! What? No, you gotta stay right there. Thank you. So strange. Fuck. Yeah, sorry, you had to go. Thank you. Okay, now I just gotta jump. I feel like jumping. Okay. So, what could possibly be the problem here with these guys? Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're not killing me, no. I'm not dealing with that. Alright, so the question is now this. Do I move you somewhere? What? Do I... Oh, maybe you guys are actually ruining something. Oh. I didn't even think of that. Maybe they are ruining stuff. Damn. If that's the case, that's unfortunate. Okay. And then the last one. Okay, alright, now let's see. Oh, well. Maybe the... Oh! So okay, so when they were red, you gotta kill them. Okay. That's kind of messed up, don't you think, chat? Oh my god, dude. I just gotta murder the claims. Alright, are we good? Oh! Beautiful. Puzzle done. And on top of that, we now officially have new things. Thank you. Alright, gold chest. Oh, Okay. Oof. Okay. Yeah, I actually have to like think when it comes to this. All right. What could possibly be in the gold chest? Oh, 2 W pumps. Thank you. Thank you. Honestly, I kind of wish it was like an outfit. But you know what? Beggars cannot be choosers. Like I'm not. Are you serious? Okay. Do I? Okay. Should I? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and. Oh my God. No, I don't want to deal with it. Just to be honest, don't want to deal with any of you. Let's just go up here and move on. Thank you. Oh shoot. This is not a good look. You know what? Fuck it. Come here. Come on. Jesus. Oh my God. Holy crap. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God. There we go. Damn. Finally. Good God. What? Oh, this one has a code. Oh. It's important. It's a mystery master tool that can help us later. Or now. Preferably now. What is all this? Highly concentrated potions. Oh. Okay. Please. Hey, when the fuck do you're gonna send the PC gang? What do you mean send the PC? Why is that? I thought it was entertainment, not the PC guy. Do I what am I, Mr. Beast now all of a sudden? What the hell? Now I'm the guy who sends the PCs. Is that what it is now? Kind of crazy if you ask me. I might need a running start. Okay, now we're back to square one. All right.
여러분, 저는 현재 사고로 거동이 불편한 상태입니다. 인도적인 도움을 요청합니다.
Oh. Who could this possibly be? Okay, you're not over here. Ha 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 ha. It's not a dead end because I can still go down. And you just do a spin the wheel to give away PC? I'm not Mr. Beast, and that PC is bad. I don't think you guys understand. It is not good. I don't know where everyone keeps thinking that this PC is good. It is not good, chat. I'm telling you. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna fix it, gang. You would need to get, and you would have to. It's not worth it. You would need to get an entire new motherboard, and you would need to get an entire new SSD, and on top of that, the space for it really isn't all worth it. You're gonna have to get so much new for it to just barely be maybe, you know, a guy. Let's hear this guy. I'm ready to hear about this guy. Let's hear this guy. He's gonna look at this and be like, Leah, this is shit. Why'd you send this to me? Oh. You.
안녕하십니까? 저는 디거라고 합니다.
D1G?
보시다시피 불행한 사고를 당했습니다. 인도적인 도움을 요청합니다.
이 드론은 때리면 안 되겠네.
I don't think you should either.
소형 드론은
My cousin, he
원래
does
언어
PCs, he'll get it
시스템이
right. Just send the
탑재되지
guy.
않은데
Sure.
어떻게 된 거야?
말했잖아. 웃기는 거라고. 현재 지속적인 대화가 어렵습니다. 에너지 잔량이 부족합니다. 집게 크레인의 시스템을 수동으로 초기화하면 이 장소에서 탈출할 수
I can't
있습니다.
just lift you up.
똑딱이, 윙윙이와 철커기를 순서대로 조작해 주십시오.
The ticker of the buzzer.
각각
Headshot
이
can't be
쓰레기장에
that bad if you shoot out.
부디 인도적인
The only
도움을
thing I
바랍니다.
did was, if you guys remember, I barely even played on it. Oh my god. Now I gotta do the mission. Hot darn, I just really like this outfit. Trust me, I make a lot of work with very little. That's one thing I will say about me. I'm gonna make sure that happens. Okay, what the hell are you? What are you? You're just okay. So how do I want to do this? Can it run basic games? If so, no, it can't. It can barely even run. It can barely even run Fortnite. No, it can barely even run Roblox. That's how bad it is. That was just an elite. That was an alpha. Oh, so that boss. Oh, I'm not done with this place, huh? Okay. I thought I was. Okay. It can like it cannot run things. Like I'm telling you guys, it's not we. Henny, why do streams do start? Why Henny, why do streamers do starting streams when they can just stream when they're ready? Because it gives people time to join and get ready and get excited to be with your streamers. I mean, I'm not a, you know, I'm going to be. I mean, of course I am. I mean, do you know who I am? I'm Hintrap. But I mean, it gets people involved to, you know, be like, okay, my favorite streamer is about to stream. As of right now, I'm not anybody's favorite streamer, but you know, we're closely getting there. That's what matters. It gives us time to kind of do things. So like, yeah, it just gives us time to do things. You know, like if we need a second, if we need to go bathroom or grab a snack or something. It gives us time to do that, yeah. I mean, personally, notice how certain. What do you click? Okay, wow. I think you're gonna have to talk that up with him. It's fine. I mean, I'm gonna stream regardless. I mean, I can't rely on everybody else to be here. I mean, if I'm never here, you know. Plus, it's fine. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. It's fine because everything is on my second channel. So I have all my Stellar Blade VODs on my second channel, so it's fine. Hintrap Live. You can go look it up. I promise that I have all my Elden Ring VODs over there. I've got everything. The only thing I don't have is why not? Okay. See, I'm guessing you just don't want to work. If that's the case, then alright. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I need to go the other way. Okay. Nice little puzzle action. You know, something a little different. What the hell? Whoa, 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 whoa. What is this? What is this? Oh, I have a couch? Like, well, is this like what? To let me rest or something? Hintrap, you should. No, stop. Stop. Not now. It was a mistake thinking I was an idiot to think certain things when starting streaming. That was one of them. No point in having one if I have a bunch of people that are not over the age of 18. Like I did not think that through. It was not that bad. It was horrible. I to this day I still question my morality to think like did I really make a good rational decision? To be honest, no is the clear answer there. It wasn't good. It was not. Who was that good for? Nobody. That really was it. That really was a mistake. This mistake is taking it away. Yeah, sure. Like anyone's missing it. Like no, it's fine where it is. Okay, I got one of them. I need to get the other one. Oh, there's one over here. Okay. You, Leah, please. You've got the other stuff. Thoughts on Crusher? I mean, you guys are my viewers. I mean, I don't have an opinion. You know, I just want everyone to know that we're, you know, I'm a streamer. You guys are viewers. You know, and to keep it like that, you know. I think you guys are great people, but you know, I don't think we're all, you know, just I'm friendly, but I don't know if we're all friends. I'll just wanted to say that. Oh. Plus, it's not like a lot of people are joining in as much. You guys just, yeah, sure. I miss the days when I was actually smart enough to keep a bunch of people in what's it called? I miss the days when I had the ability to keep over 20 people in my streams. Those were the days. But that doesn't mean that I can't happen again. If I struck gold once, I can strike twice and then thrice. There has to be a way to put this thing, man. I can't just live it. Oh. Hold on. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Dude, what? You should try doing more collabs. I have been thinking about doing a few more. If it's gonna be with people, it'll be with people that like know, like you're gonna be like, who the hell is this? So like, what? I really wanted to be with like-minded people who are really wanting to go at it. If I am going to do a collab, you know, because I mean, you guys know everybody that the people that I have done collabs with. I mean, everyone, you know, they're doing collabs with other people. I mean, it would make no sense for me not to collab with new people. You know, I don't mind getting my name out there. I was planning on actually, I might raid somebody tonight. Doing all of this for what? I did that one. Okay, where's the other one? I did that one. Oh, great. This is the last one? Lovely. And you need to find streamers in ATL. You could probably join. They need a nerdy guy. They don't need. What good am I to AMP? I've got no credentials. And it's not like, what's it called? And it's not like I would want, you know, someone who's a little I mean, for a better of lack of terms, who's a nobody. You know, you would want people that are you know, who've got the numbers to back up their things. I am nowhere near that, which is unfortunate because personally I can, but due to my inability to innovate or join FaZe. Why am I joining FaZe? FaZe would not want me. They do not want somebody like me. Too nerdy. Too weird. Too off-putting. Okay, I already did that one. I did that one. Where's the last one? Oh, one. Wait, what? My freaking back hurts, chat. Oh my god. It's like the left side of my, oh my god. Not a good feeling. Okay, maybe I should move this one. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yep. Imagine this nerdy guy joins FaZe. Yeah, I don't know if they would want us. Oh, okay, I can't. Oh, so I can't move that. Oh. Well then, hold on. Plot thickens. Okay, maybe this is the one that I need to go on ahead and do. They don't need me. Plus, right now I've been really boring. I feel like as of late, like, I mean, I like Stellar Blade and all, but I feel like the streams have just been kind of a little bit more not the most fun. I think that's the best word I can use. I feel like I've just been overall just really just a slob. Pretty freaking boring, if you ask me, but that's how I feel. Or you can make Asian Glazer game. There's no one. No one's glazing Asia. Asia's got their issues too, Chad. All right. There we go. Go up here. Why did she not jump? Eve, please work with it. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Oh. There we go. My goodness. That's exactly what we need. I just need the I feel like I need more interesting
이
streams.
허술한 장치가 정상적으로 작동한다니
You said you
다행이네.
can't believe how flimsy things are. Okay.
그 드론 한번 상태나 확인하러 가보자고.
Alright, and there we go. Thank you. Hopefully I get something for this.
감사드립니다. 아담, 안녕하십니까? 오랜만입니다. 이분을 소개해 주셨으면 합니다.
뭐랄까. 그래.
Oh my god.
천사님이시지.
Really?
천사, 이브 강화부대 구성원을 지칭하는 은어입니다.
You can
나는 이브야. 넌
remember game
어떻게 된
video we are going to be
원래
debating
이렇게
about
작동해서는 안
animes? Oh hell no.
이브, 안녕하십니까? 저는 디거라고 합니다. 저는 스스로에 대해 다양한 고민을 안고 있으며 여러 멋진 계획을 세우며
Really?
살아가는 존재입니다.
Do tell.
웃기는 거라고 했지. 이런 뜻이었어.
Let's see
아담,
this.
말을 끊지 마십시오.
Oh
이브,
my gosh.
언젠가 저의 오지는 가설에 대해 심도 있는 대화를 나누는 기쁨을 누릴 수 있으면 좋겠습니다.
Asian Glazer game
다시
is
한번
tough.
도움에 감사드립니다.
Mm-mm.
추후 건설적인 관계 구축을 바랍니다. 유용한
What
자원을
would be
제공할
tough is that if I had over
용기가
1,000 people. That's tough. Playing this game. That would be tough. That would be tough. Alright, so what's over here? Plan to clean. Oh, wow. Okay, I did. Gonna give me anything?
넌 굉장히 특이한
좋은
You didn't mean that in a
뜻입니다.
good way or bad way.
글쎄 어느 쪽도 아니지 않을까? 무슨 일이 있었길래 이렇게 된 거야?
모릅니다. 어느
Okay.
순간 네트워크의 사물 인터넷이 오프라인이 되었고 그
Oh,
순간 양자 뇌의 리미터가 해제되었을 뿐입니다.
그런
Okay.
일이 있을 수가 있구나.
그렇습니다. 그래서 제겐 제 존재가
actually, are those
최고의
Pokemon cards on the
주인공입니다.
on the ground?
환경미화에 힘쓰면서
Oh my gosh!
늘 저 자신에 대해 생각하고 있습니다.
Oh my gosh! Shop. I can shop. Affinity. You can become friends with merchants if they use their shops as long as your affinity. Okay. Weapon. What? Collects data that is necessary for retrieving artificial. What? On gear. What? Are you serious? We have glasses? Don't tempt me with a good time game. Metal frames? I'm more than like, yeah, I can't live without my glasses, guys. I can't. This is crazy though. having like these the drone material. Do I need that? I think I do need this. Yeah, I think I will need one of those. Then the micro march, then the what? Yeah, why? Let's see here. The nano element is for materials for exospines. Oh, chat. That I did not know. Conspiracy. An anomaly in historical data has been found in the past. I've confirmed that this phenomenon is called conspiracies. Conspiracies about the three mega companies are the most common. These imply that a lot of people distrust giant businesses. There's currently no way to confirm whether the information is true or not. However, please note that the data about conspiracies is consistent with all, usually ending in doubtful conclusions. Research has shown that the data can be found in small newspaper vending machine-like devices. Okay, got it.
안녕히 가십시오. 만족스러우셨습니까?
I am.
그래,
I now have glasses. I'm great. I've got glasses. I'm great. Thank you. And I still have a good outfit. Kind of my That's what I need. I need some gear sock stuff. Okay. Oh, then I do have two. Oh wow. Maximum 24 can be carried. Okay. I guess, and then, 32, and then I can load 8 at once. Jesus. Alright. I might have to keep tonight's stream a little shorter than normal. I don't think you guys would have a problem with that, would you guys? I think you guys would say W stream, guys. And I think you guys would keep moving. Oh, let's see here. Anything? Okay, let's see. Actually, you don't know. We can go on ahead and change the outfit thing. Oh, with the metal frames, yes, outfit of the game. Thank you. All right, seems like we still have yet to get a boss. To Zion? Like Zion's gonna do shit for me. I still can't believe I can just use ponytail anytime. It's insane, chat. I'm gonna be honest. It's just a matter of how. Alright, let's see. Where are we going, man? What are we doing here? You know, chat, I also need to start playing Musume again. Adam was not there, did nothing. Not do a damn thing. Bro then proceeds to say, oh, we're doing, good job, guys. We've done it together. Okay. Go to the the Province Chamber. Okay. Lily! I have not. Can I ever... Is there anything I can do, Lily? Ooh. Can't get that one just yet. But everything else is fine. Alright. Thank you, Lily. Alright, so this is the only part of the game that like starts stuttering just a bit. I've noticed. It's around here, yeah. This is when the stuttering starts. Weird. And the crazy part is, chat, is that the other place was actually bigger. I wonder why. Let me actually go bother one person really quickly. Where is she? Are you serious? You can jump that, Dave. Come on. You serious? You serious? Hold on. Yes. Then up again. Can you not go up again? Are you serious? Okay. I didn't realize that we were struggling through that, but okay. Okay. And here we go. Roxanne!
록사는 천사. 내가 도와주니 이 지자.
You're welcome, Roxanne. Thank you, Roxanne. Oh, plastic hearts? A new thing. Oh, wow. Are you serious? Oh my god. They have a blue one. I 10, and then that's a 3. Okay. I
어머, 이
okay. I didn't.
게시판이라 자유.
Let's see. What's that? What's that? Is there anything good? No. Okay, and Neuraleak skin, and then a 4 seconds Black Dean. Oh my god. I'm never gonna find those darn cats. I might go look them up in a second, chat. I'm so serious. Object. Okay. Oh, who's this? What the hell? Why is he staring at me like that? What do you want?
단조로워.
What do you mean? I have a great outfit since. Damn you. It's a hair salon. Chat. Hold on. Okay, what now? Gwen, I'll never forgive you, Kay. Oh my gosh.
이봐,
아까 그 아가씨인가?
Okay.
단조롭다니. 뭐가
My hair?
단조롭다지?
들려버렸나 보군. 무례를 사과하지 천사.
What do you mean?
아니, 사과를 받으려던 건
Yeah, I want to know
아니었어.
what do you mean.
왜 그런 말을 한 건지 궁금했거든. 여긴
We got a hair
뭐 하는
place in
곳이야?
Stellar Blade.
여기는 내 가게.
Oh my gosh.
그웬 헤어 살롱이라는
This is what I
곳이지.
need to chat.
나는 헤어 디자이너 카심이고
Ooh, a hairstylist.
머리를 아름답게 꾸미는 일이야. 심리적
There's gotta be
안정감과
different hairstyles,
자신감을
Chad.
높여줄 수 있지.
Oh my gosh.
네 머리는 아주
Full of
대단.
potential.
엄청난 잠재력이 깃들어
You're darn
있다고
right it is.
해야겠어. 하지만 지금 그 보물은 잠들어 있을 뿐이야. 그래서 단조롭다고 한 거고.
You know, I want to know how he
그
sees.
말은 당신이라면 단조롭지 않게 만들 수 있다는 거야?
Okay.
물론이지라고 말하고 싶지만
You don't want me to
지금은
do that.
시술
You're
도구가
serious, right?
스캐빈저를 자칭하는 좀도둑 녀석들이 싹 훔쳐가 버려서 어쩔 수 없이 개점 휴업 중이야. 뭐 그놈들한테 쓸모가 있진 않았을 테니 버려주고 말았겠지만
Oh my gosh.
버려지다니.
Please,
어디에
he's gonna say you need to
버려졌는지
go
알
back
수
to the
있어?
wasteland.
보통 그렇게 된 것들은 황무지의 고물 처리장에 모이긴 하지.
Yeah,
좋아. 내가 한번 찾아봐 줄게.
that sounds about
대신
right.
내 머리를 단조롭지 않게 바꾸는데 협력해줘야겠어.
물론 바라는 바지. 사라진 물건은 가위,
Scissors, hair dye, and a
드라이버,
hair straightener.
스트레이너 세 가지야.
You gotta be
좋아.
kidding me.
체크했어.
You've gotta be kidding
잘
me.
부탁한다 천사.
You've gotta be kidding me. Let me go grab those things then. It says I could start like with a phone. I could like travel anywhere, but I don't have a phone. Damn, 12 out of 18 characters. Are we really almost done with everybody? That's crazy. What? Is there? Wow, I was expecting more things. That's unfortunate. Well, it's not like we're at the second boss yet, so I guess we're fine. Damn. Alright. I wish I could go find those cats, though. Oh. I see more of these objects that they keep talking about. I wonder what these objects are. Imagine they're... Open your eyes. Citizens, open your eyes. Zion is full of lies. Oracle is faking everything and threatening our freedom. That crazy old man is manipulating the natives to terrorize us all. But we, as free citizens, shall never give up. Overthrow the false prophet. Overthrow the minions who call themselves Oracle's guards. Overthrow the sentinels who discard the citizens' protection and merely maintain the system. Let's lead ourselves to a safer world. I don't blame you. Probably is doing some shady shit. Oh, there's books. Ooh, maybe I could read these on my own. Alright, I want to read that, but I'll read that in a bit. Oh. It makes it even more human just doing that. I will read all of that in a second. Hold on. Oh, I found a can! Motherfucker, give me a can. Huh. Okay. I was ready. Let's see, is there anything over here I can use? They got food. Or no. Not cooking. I'm now stuck. This is how gaming's supposed to be. No, okay, so I just can't get over there. Okay, that's fine. Could I shoot someone? Oh, you know how funny that would have been if I, like, he died? Anyway, oh! Okay. Oh my gosh, this music? What is that? Oh, money! Wow, 27. Wow! Advanced nano. Okay. Let's see here. Anything outside? I don't see anything too crazy. I guess I might as well go grab those scissors now, because if not, I'm gonna forget about it. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab them now. And then we might be able to continue with it later. It seems like we're doing side quests and stuff today, chat. Wasn't the plan, but you know, it's better to have better to do something than nothing at all. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. Let's see here. Where do I need to go? All right. First customer. Oh, what the hell? Dude has me going. Where? Oh my god. Oh, it's all in one area. Good. I don't know why I thought that was a spider. I was like, oh!
카즈미 말한 장소는 여기인가?
맞아. 고물이 되기 직전에 온갖 물건이 모인 보물 창고 같은 곳이지.
I mean, these are
문제는 쓸데없이 널. 자,
thank you. Woo! Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, where is it? Oh, we got a hairdryer here. That's one out of the 3. Oh. Alright, what's next? Let's see. Yes, oh my god. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ooh, beautiful. No micro drive. All right. 25? Oh. Taking all that damage for what? Thank you. Dude almost lost his clippers. I'm not even going to lie. If this was an apocalyptic world, I would have just said, you know what? Fuck it. I quit. Maybe that's what makes it okay, and I'm 50 away. All right, cool. Cool. I like what I'm hearing. I like what I'm seeing. 60 away. Okay. 60 away. Okay. 60, 40, 30, 20, 10, 9. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, I just wasn't expecting that, but okay. Oh, there it is. Am I crazy? Can I not pick it up? Hello? Okay, I might have to reload the area chat. Also, if you wonder why I'm sitting like this, it's because my back started hurting all of a sudden. One man problem shot. Ooh, wee. Alright, let's sit down. This truly is like the best outfit in the game. Alright. Damn. Favorite outfit, and I get glasses for it? I'm snazzy. I'm looking real snazzy, chat. Alright, I have 4? What the hell? 4? Oh, heck yeah. If I have 4, that means I can increase the charge. Yep. Okay, I have increasing power. Okay. Anything over here? No. Alright. And I still don't know what those other 2 are. This is very unfortunate, but it's fine. Not worried about it. Woo! Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Is that what I'm looking for? Oh. And a straightener, yes. There we go. Return the client now, yes, of course. Because guess what? That's what we do. Chat, are we enjoying I would say the earlier streams? What's it called? W stream. I might have to end soon, chat. Yeah, no, I might have to end stream. Oh, failed to save the game. Whoa, please save the game.
그냥 해본 말이
Of course, I
아니었던
do not
모양이야.
know who I am. I'm Eve.
정말 도와줄 줄은 몰랐어. 고마워.
그럼 이제 시술을 부탁해도
Yeah,
될까?
you better, man. Sorry.
단조롭지 않게 말이지.
그 말이 어지간히 신경 쓰였나 본데.
I think that would get it under anyone's skin.
자, 그럼 실력
Please.
발휘해 보실까?
Dear Lord. So what is the hair supposed to look like? Don't piss me off. Are you serious? Are you... A style that represents first love, supposedly? Are you serious? So the ones that I really like... Okay. No, that one's alright. Oh, Valentine, though. Oh my gosh. That's the one. Planet Ponytail. Hairstyles look alright, just the tie. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Peach Freight. Okay. A Daughter's Memories. Then I have no waviness. Oh, the cutest is probably cute. It takes some getting used to. I like this one, but of course I need the damn pillar. The President of Zion.
역시 넌 스타일링하는 보람이 있단 말이지.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. Because everything else, only one I have is this godforsaken this.
좋아, 좋아. 마음에 드나.
I prefer having that. I prefer having this one. Yeah, because like, look, actually, yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan of it. I prefer this one.
괜찮은데 전사.
Oh,
훌륭한
there's more?
선택이었어.
Whoa, the vaca. Oh, heck no. Yeah, this is the one. The most unique. At least that's what some stylists say. Yeah, this is the one. With the hair. Oh, chat. Ah, I need 20.
어때? 마음에 드시나?
We'll wear it for right now.
아직 잘
We'll wear it for right
모르겠지만
now. I've got glasses
자신감이
and I've got
깃드는
the.
것
Yeah,
같기도
we're
하고.
gonna wear it for right now.
아담, 네가 보기엔 어때?
Don't ask Adam.
나한테 그런 걸
The fucker does not have fashion sense. First customer, yes. Yeah, you're damn right. Should get myself.
헤어스
자, 그럴 열고 그럴.
Oh, so sad. This is the one I want. The originative. I like this one. This one's cute. That one's cute. But I'll keep my hair red. Why not? Red is red. I can now change Eve's hair from. Oh, over here. I can wear earrings. Chat, this game has given me too much customization. I did not realize that. Also, I'm gonna change it. I don't care about Adam. And everything else is fine. What are the only three? Urgent info, and then like butterflies. Take pictures of hidden cats, and then hidden. All right. Where do we go? I guess. Oh, up here. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, because then I gotta go to underground and talk to the Oracle. That man's not gonna do jack. He's just gonna sit there and say thank you. He's like, thank you. All right. Okay. I was gonna say, why did it go quiet all of a sudden? Can I get a save, please? Hopefully I can get a save. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, how many skill points do I have now? Like 3. Good God. Just darn. I can dodge after another dodge? Oh, that's perfect. Actually, I will take that. Okay.
알파 네이티브가 있는 곳에
Should go talk to. Okay. Do you say anything? No, you don't. You should. Okay. Well. I just feel like this is gonna be an area for a boss fight. I don't know what it is. Oh, there's Lily and there's Adam.
역시 내 눈은 틀리지 않은 게야.
What are you talking about?
고생들 했네. 아담, 이번에도 부탁하네.
하이퍼드라이브로 가자.
Hyperdrive? Okay. There's nothing you want to say? There's nothing you want to tell me?
두 번째 드라이브 에너지 인젝션.
Okay.
활성화를 시작합니다.
Alright, that's 2 down. That's 2 down. Alright. It does look pretty.
그래. 우린 가치 있는 일을 해낸 거야.
Okay. Talk to the Oracle? Okay. You know, engineer guy, I gotta talk to you.
전사님,
Angel, you're back?
오셨습니까?
Ben! Okay.
하이퍼셀이 구한다고 계속 구해주는
This might end up meaning
분이었군요.
something? Okay.
이게 의미가 있을지도 모르겠습니다.
I guess. Okay. We'll go fight that Oracle. I don't trust that bastard. Actually, no, I just don't trust Adam. Bro hasn't done nothing to show me that he's trustworthy. Gosh, this is such a pretty place. Those heels are so pretty. Okay.
고맙네. 다시 한번.
이제 당신 차례야.
Yeah, now it's your turn.
기다려라. 곧 답을 주실 테니.
Ooh, the wait, man. I don't have an hour. The Alpha Nativas,
구도심의 작은 하수처.
and I can train graveyard in the old city center.
매트릭스 11에서
Card from Matrix 11.
파장이 감지되고
Okay.
매트릭스 11.
맵 데이터를 테트라포드에 전송해 두겠네.
Okay.
알파 네이티브가 있는 일대까지 찾아가는데 도움이 될 걸세.
신경을 써주셔서 고맙습니다.
I actually do like. I like how Lily's outfit is very different. I'm liking it.
아무것도 아니네.
Maybe I should do this boss tonight.
행운이 있기를.
I was thinking that we're gonna have that boss tonight. I wouldn't mind hitting that up. I wouldn't. It also depends though. Nobody wants to say anything? Nobody wants to say anything?
마을이 좀 달라졌어요.
더 많은 사람이 보여. 간판들도.
Maybe it's because people are waking up.
말했었잖아. 우린 가치 있는 일을 해낸 거라고.
Okay.
이제 경계하는 눈빛으로 우릴 쳐다보는 일은 없을 거야.
다행이네요. 전 진짜 무서웠다고요.
I don't blame her.
그럼 먼저 테트라포드로 가볼 테니 변한 마을을 잠깐이라도
There's nothing for me to enjoy. It's called Alpha Tiba. The Alpha Natiba. Wait, no, let's do. Oh, crate. Hold on. New outfit? For gear sockets. Okay. There's more humans. Let's go. Okay. Well, I don't know where I want to. Huh? Something over here? Oh my gosh. Cam? Huh. Oh my gosh. So glad that we have these cams. What the hell? It is like I'm just finding the most random places here. Alright, anything good in here? Thank you. A special reward. Okay. Okay, so we have some music. Who the hell? Chat, who is this? What are you?
정지, 여긴 아무나 들어올 수 없는 곳이다. 자이온에서 못 보던 놈 같은데. 정체를 밝혀.
I'm the angel.
잠깐. 나는 콜로니 강화 부대원이야.
Damn right.
뭐야? 넌
I'm
천사잖아.
Eve.
여기 무슨 볼일이지? 구경거리가 필요한가?
노래에 이끌려서 들어와 봤을 뿐이야.
선지자께서 도시 출입을 허락하셨다고 하나. 제멋대로 돌아다녀도
So you've heard of me before. Then why are you asking who I am? The hell?
안락한 콜로니에서 아무것도 모르며 살던 놈들이란.
Oh my god.
나쁜 의도는 없었어. 문제가
Yeah,
있다면
it's like I was gonna say, like it's not like
사과할게.
she knew anything. I mean, I'm the reason.
괜찮아? 이 펍이 사람들로 북적거리던 때가
And it will
있었지.
get to that place, Sue.
하지만 이젠 횡댕그렁하고 어두침침할 뿐. 엔야도 마찬가지다. 이 몸으로 언제까지 버틸지, 노래도 언제까지 계속할 수 있을지. 내가 왜 이런 이야기를 하고 있는지 모르겠네.
What can I do to
진짜.
bring her back, man?
조심스러운 이야기지만 도움이 필요하다면 우리 쪽에서 알아볼 수 있어. 일행에 강화부대 엔지니어링 서포터가 있으니까.
뭐라고? 정말인가? 하지만 나는 대가를 치를 수
Man,
없는
it's fine.
상황.
You're over here dying
그런
over
건
here.
필요 없어. 사람을 구하는데 꼭 이유가 필요한 건 아니니까.
I'm actively liking this album
그래.
more and more.
그렇다면 꼭 부탁하고 싶다.
Oh. So well. Now all of a sudden, you want me to? Okay. Alright. I feel like we're like getting more and more people. I'm like, oh darn, we're at 14. That means 4 more people I have to meet. I hope there's like a huge plot twist. It's like, yeah, no, there's actually more people. I'm like, oh shoot. Alright, a little story over here. I'll read it on my own time. Get those humans out of here. Ah, something's over here. No passcode. Okay, that's fine. Help wanted from a Matrix bit. Okay. You know what, chat? We're probably going to get to, of course, the one and only true area. We're more than likely going to go from there. All right. Oh, I gotta talk to Lily. Oh, there we go.
이브 왔군요. 여길 봐주세요.
What is this?
이게 뭐야?
이건 바로 알파 시그널 계측기예요.
A signal
알파
meter?
코어에서 나오는 미묘한 공명음을 이용해서 그 위치를 알 수 있게 만들어봤어요.
Oh. Thank you, Lily.
측정 거리가 짧은 편이긴 하지만
At least it's something. Hey,
오르칼 할아버지가 알려준 위치로 가면 유용하게 쓸 수 있을 거예요.
thank you, Lily.
오, 대단한데. 내가
Good.
할 일이 없어지겠어.
Don't like this guy.
진작에 그렇지 않았나요?
Damn.
요 꼬맹이가.
릴리, 고마워. 매번 도움을 받네.
Oh my gosh.
그리고 하나 더.
Please.
잠깐만 뒤돌아 볼래요?
Okay. The hell is this?
자, 됐어요.
뭐가 됐다는 거지?
바디셀의 동력 때문에
The
커스터마이징
power
했어요.
distribution of the body cells?
몸이 가벼워진 것 같지 않나요?
뭔가 다르긴 한 것 같아.
So, what does it mean for
점프를
you?
해보시면 출력의 차이를 느끼게 될 거예요.
I could double jump? I could double jump? You're telling me I could double jump? Double jump. Yep. Double jump. Yep. Huge. Oh my gosh, yes. That's what we needed. Now hold on. Oh yeah, I do have another can. Okay. Oh, excuse me, chat. I don't know why I started. Oh, now I can just go anywhere. Oh my gosh. That's actually insane. I never even, I didn't even think the possibility of having a double jump in this game could be possible. I actually like the animation for it. It's not bad. Alright, Lily, talk to me. What else do you see?
매트릭스 11으로
You
떠나기
better take that
전에
off. Okay. I'll end now.
릴리, 부탁할 일이 생겼어. 큰 손상을 입은 사람에 대한 이야기를 들었어. 거동도 못하고 말 한마디 할 수 없을 정도로. 여기 기술로는 어려울 것 같아. 네가 어떻게 도와줄 수 있지 않을까?
You know, I just realized, could she ever go back to the space station up there?
그래도 될 타이밍일까요?
여기 사람들은 기본적으로 콜로니에 반감이
They do.
있어.
We gotta fix that.
버려졌다고 생각하는 사람도 많고. 우리 임무가 위선이 아니라는 걸 보여주고 싶어. 원래 우리 임무는 인류를 구원하는 거니까.
True.
네, 정말 이브답네요. 시도는 해보죠. 대신 완전 회복은 장담할 수 없어요.
Okay.
그리고 꽤 많은 준비가 필요할 거예요.
Thank you, Lily.
알겠어. 필요한 항목을
I'm
알려줘.
gonna be honest, chat.
리스트 전송할게요.
The stream's like kind of a little boring. I know.
말해두자면 너무 시간 뺏기지 마세요. 우리한텐 임무가 있으니까요.
You're
알고
right.
있어. 고마워.
Now I need to talk to you about one other thing, Lily.
매트릭스 정비해.
Everything else? Oh, everything else is fine. Okay. Complete. Is this for them?
매트릭스 이브 아직 필요 물품을 다
맞아.
다른 건 몰라도 지상에서
그래?
What?
원래 어디
Oh,
쓰는
a mini?
데이터길래.
Wait a minute.
기계 학습이 진행되지 않은 바닐라 인공지능 데이터에 이번 건처럼 심각한 인공지능 손상은 지상 어디에 남겨져 있을
알겠어. 참고할게.
Hold on. Wait. I do have that. I bought that. Yeah, did I not buy that? I bought a whole crap ton of that. Collect the mind mini. Oh my god. Are you serious? I have 3. Yeah, come on. Can there be one like in here? Thought there would be one in here. Okay, I guess not. I guess not. Interesting. I know who has one. I gotta go to the wasteland. That's what it is. I need to go to the wasteland to go find one. Because in the wasteland they have one over there. All right, now I will say, chat, after this, after I get this side quest done, we will unfortunately have to put a pause on the Stellar Blade. I've had a lot of fun this stream. Hopefully you all have enjoyed it too. I'm having a lot of fun playing this game, honestly. I know today I was a little bit more quiet than normal. I apologize about that. I've what's it called? I'm starting to become a little locked in on the story, and I'm starting to enjoy it more and more as as it starts to unfold. So I'm more than likely to be like, oh my gosh. Honestly, the story is not bad. I mean, I don't like the Oracle, and I'm a little skeptical of Adam, but for what it is, oh, you know what? I could double. Oh, that's probably why I couldn't get up there, huh? You.
이브,
Come on.
질문이 있습니다.
What's your question?
뭐야?
당신의 자아가 어떤 과정으로
The process in which
형성되었는지
your ego was first formed.
기억합니까?
What?
글쎄. 데이터 송수신, 저장, 처리, 학습 과정에서 수십만 초가 지나며
Oh my god.
자연스레 나 자신이란 걸 알게
Basic
됐지.
baby stuff.
그렇습니까? 제 경우에는 자아의 각성에 274만 4,091초의 학습 시간이
what the
소요되었습니다.
That was
조금
crazy.
실망입니다. 지금까지 조사한 바에 따르면 저와 다른 인간의 자아 형성 과정에 유의미한 차이는 없습니다. 당신처럼 아주 특별한 사람조차도
Damn.
동료들이랑 이런 이야기를 해본 적은 한 번도 없었어. 타키는 뭐라고 대답했을까?
I can't help but think about Tacky. Oh my god, Tacky. I forgot about Tacky.
디거, 질문을 좀 해도 될까?
You know you have one. Come on.
물론입니다. 이브,
이 마인드맵 4분의 데이터 어디서 구한 건지 알 수 있을까?
Oh.
협력을 받았습니다.
협력?
오르카
Cooperation.
항공우주회사 2형 수집 드론, 통칭 데이터 처리 드론과의 협력을 뜻합니다.
Oh.
인공지능 변화에 대해 탐구하고자 마인드맵 사본을 양도받았습니다.
그 드론들을 찾아보면 된다는 거지? 고마워.
천만의 말씀입니다.
Well, all right. Well, the question is, where would one be? I was gonna go see if you had another one, but just kind of answered my question. Yeah, I already bought one because I thought I
떠나십니까?
have how many?
감사합니다.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was weird to even have one. All right, hold on. Oh goodness, there's so many. Okay, there's a lot of places that have one. Okay, well that's good because the more places, the easier it is for me to go find. So yes, all right, chat. In a second, I more than likely will end stream. Had a lot of fun. Hopefully, you guys have all had a. I'm hoping that you've all have had a fun time in streaming and watching me stream. I hope to have given you guys a some some entertainment, you know. If you guys have anything, you know, new you guys are thinking about, you know, go right ahead, you know. You can always do something different. You know, I kind of actually, you don't know, I won't. Oh, now having a double jump? Oh my god, I'm actually glad I have a double jump. Like, I did not realize how much of this game. There's so much, like, I did not realize how many limitations I had with just one jump. I'll talk to Adam right after I get, right over here. Because there could be something over there. Or I could just shoot the guy that's over here and keep it moving. Kind of would. Oh, 175 meters from now. Wait, whoa, I thought there was another one over here. Is there not? Beautiful. I've gotten really good at the, like, mine copies. Where is it? I swear it's over. Oh, wrong way. Jump. All right, over here. Okay. So it's over here. 173, 174. All right. So we're getting closer and closer to it. Thank God. Is it up here? I'm trying to figure out. Damn, please. You know what, chat? I'm gonna be honest. I've been doing this whole, like, recently I started doing some, like, dieting. Oh, no. Okay, hold on. Can we please? Thank you. We can all go. We can all go. Come on. Jesus. $16. Oh. You. Perfect. We're gonna now officially deliver the parts to Lily. This is great. Well, hold on. We'll probably do that. I just realized how elegant she does that. Goodness. Alright, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna go to finish the side quest, and then right after that, then we will end stream chat. I apologize about my more monotone gameplay today. Camp in combat. I think come up with this sucker. I was gonna say, it's not like he's after me. I don't know what these micro collies are for. Alright, now I can just moshi moshi. I really do like her hair. It's a Zion. I wish it just allowed me kind of just to move over. You can use blinks and repulse when Eve's sword glows. I want to know what this damn phone thing is. Like, oh, we can have a phone. Yes, give me a relic of the past, please. Okay. I don't think I've actually talked to that guy in a while. You? What the hell are you?
헤이, 이봐, 천사 양반. 혹시 역사에 관심 없어?
History.
역사?
저요. 전 관심 많아요.
Lily, you're right fucking there.
깜짝이야. 갑자기 끼어들. 아무튼 관심이 있다니
I don't know
다행.
whether this.
요즘 여기 주민들은 다들 너.
나도 딱히.
특히 나는 유기 인류에 대해 관심이 있지. 우리들 이전에 살았던 녀석하게도 남아있는 자료가 거의 없어.
남의 말을 듣지 않는구나.
이상한 일이지 않나? 아무리 역사를 등한시한다고 해도 이 마치 그래 금지된 지식인 것처럼
And I
말이야.
wonder why.
어때? 흥미진진하지? 하, 그야
I do
그렇겠지.
really like her outfit, man.
인간을 움직이는 원천은 바로 호기심이거든.
Oh my gosh.
아, 유기 인류에 대한 자료는
I do really
어디서
like
구할 수
Eve's outfit.
있을까?
Like, with her hair, goodness
그러다가
graciousness.
생각했지. 자네는 에이도스 세븐의 기록 보관소에 가서 다른.
사실이긴 하지만 이미
Too much information.
그렇다면 내 소원을 꼭
Then
좀
what do you
들어줘.
want me to do? You want to go in there and...
기록 보관소의 정보 단말에서 유기 인류에 대한
Oh, hell
정보를
no.
찾아봐달라 이 말이야.
I'm gonna have to fight.
자네라면 할 수 있을 거야. 제발.
Have to fight the Oracle. He's like, oh, you can't do that.
기록 보관소는 이미
이브. 그냥 정보 단말 연결이라면 입구의 개폐 장치에서도 가능할 거예요.
What?
릴리.
그야 저도 궁금하니까요.
그래. 에이도스 세븐에 갈 일이 있을 때
Okay.
역시 자네라면 말이 통할 줄 알았다니까.
What's not like I can hear
좋아.
her?
그럼 나는 목 씻고 기다릴 테니 어서 다녀오라고.
You're welcome, Luther.
빼고겠지.
Yeah, taboo. That's exactly what that is. All right. Let's go back. And then from there, I kind of want to... Oh, could I buy... Well, actually, hold on. Before I do any of that. Lily.
매트릭스 11.
Yes.
릴리, 준비가 끝났어.
네, 문제 없네요.
Okay.
작업 준비를 할 테니 그 환자를 이리 좀 데려와 줄래요?
지금 데려올게.
Okay. Oh, that was kind of quick. I'm not gonna lie. I will say, Bro does have a nice helmet. Look at him contemplating, losing his mind.
제가 할 수 있는 조치는 다 했어요. 완전하진 않지만 상태가 제법 호전됐을 거예요.
Okay. Will she talk? That's the question.
수, 거기 있어? 나 네가 느껴져.
Oh.
애냐, 정신이 들어? 애냐,
응, 네 손 따뜻해.
They can feel?
너무 오랜만이야.
애냐.
Robot wrist?
이브님, 조금씩 기억이 나요. 도와주신 것.
Oh my gosh.
답례를 해드리고 싶지만 제겐 아무것도
You guys can
없어요.
offer me by getting me a
제가
new
할 수
outfit.
있는 건 노래뿐이에요. 그 노래라면 충분해. 그리고 감사는 여기 릴리한테 해도 이 친구가 널 살렸으니까.
Oh.
흥흥.
God, I love this game chat. God, I love this game chat, man. 3 gold. Man. Alright, I just want to grab one thing. We're going to grab one outfit. I think it's the bunny outfit. I don't know yet. But as soon as I do that, stream, We did the side quests. I did exactly what I set out to do today. Oh my god, thank god I actually have a double jump. Holy crap. I actually prefer having a double jump now. Roxanne! Hey, Roxanne. We have hyperdrives, oases. Alright, I will make sure to read all of this because I am curious. Even the heart one, I'm curious. But what I am really wanting, I have 11. That means I could buy one of these swimsuits. I wanted to buy the Cyber Bunny one. But you know what? Well, I guess I know which one we're gonna do. What's it look like? Come on. All right, chat. Give me 1 second. Oh my goodness. All right, now we're gonna go ahead. Yeah, I could literally just go back. Like, actually, could I just run up and do that? Hold on. Oh my god. Oh, I really can't. Whoa, with the double jump, I can just do anything. Holy crap. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do, we're going to go back, and then after that, chat, guess what? It's time to end stream. I'd say I've had a really fun time just playing the game that I love so much. You know, I appreciate everyone who's checked it out. You know, thank you. Thank you for joining. Now, I will say, I do want to see where the bunny outfit looks like. Wow. I need to figure out how I'm going to get these extra preliminaries. But with that, chat, we are going to end stream. Hopefully you guys all had a great time. I had an amazing time. And I'll see each and every one of you guys all for tomorrow for more than likely not the final stream. It's going to be a while until we get there for at least Stellar Blade. With that, guys, I'll see you guys all later. If you guys have any suggestions, please link them down below. I'll see each and every one of you guys all next time. And that is me, Hintrap, signing off. Peace, guys. See you guys all later.